All right, HBCU Power Rankings Week 13. We are done with the regular season for most teams. And when you look at the teams on this list, only one team is done with the regular season. The rest of these teams are going postseason play. We're going to start at number 5, Southern University Jaguars. They had a bye week this past week, of course, getting ready for Grambling State and the Big Bayou Classic coming up this weekend. But the Jaguars closed out the season with a 31-9 victory over UAPB. They won the SWAC Western Division title, shocked a lot of people. And they finished the regular season with the regular title, with the SWAC Western Division title at 7-4, 6-1. It's not all said and done yet because, you got to throw out those records when you get to the Bayou Classic. So Grambling is sitting there looking at Southern like, hey, we can still hand you a loss before it's all said and done, before you get to the SWAC championship. But nonetheless, Southern is my number 5 team closing it out, getting that SWAC Western Division title. Number 4, I had them at number 3 last week, but they dropped down. North Carolina Central. They got things done in a big way to end the regular season against Delaware State. I thought this team could possibly sneak its way into the FCS playoffs, but the committee said not so fast, my friend. So the Eagles, to me, is disappointing for the second consecutive season to realize one game was the deciding factor. Last year was Howard beating them and Howard going to the Celebration Bowl. This year, it was South Carolina State beating them for the second consecutive year. A really good North Carolina Central team is going to be at home out of the Celebration Bowl. Going to number 3, Tennessee State. How about them getting a share of the Big South Ohio Valley Conference title by beating Southeast Missouri, who was the number 11 team in FCS football? Nonetheless, Eddie George and his team has done great this year. 9-3, 6-2 in conference play. They have won the games that matter, and now they find themselves in the FCS playoffs. They'll be going on the road to take on a really good Montana team. I'm curious to see how they do going to the FCS playoffs, being the only HBCU in the FCS playoffs this year. The number 2 team for me, South Carolina State, they got it done this past weekend as well, closed the deal. They're headed to the Celebration Bowl. They finished the season, regular season, at 9-2, 5-0 in conference play. Perfect record in the MEAC, and congratulations to Coach Chennis Berry and his team. They find ways to continuously get it done. Eric Phoenix is the quarterback, Caden High, and many others. Even Stubblefield came in at the backup quarterback position this past week and got it done for them. So they are loaded. I like South Carolina State. Once again, congratulations to them for winning the MEAC and Coach Chennis Berry in year 1 over in Orangeburg, South Carolina. And for me, still the number 1 team in black college football, the Jackson State Tigers. 10-2, 8-0. They thucked their rival Alcorn State in the Soul Bowl up on the reservation this past weekend. Left them really hurting. This team right now headed to the SWAC championship. They're going to host it in Jackson, Mississippi. They are your SWAC East Division champion. And out of all of these teams in the FCS polls, they are the highest ranked right now on the FCS side. And so when I look at these teams, this is my top 5. Number 5, Southern University, SWAC West champs. Number 4, North Carolina Central, left out of the FCS playoffs. Number 3, Tennessee State, who just won a share of the Big South Ohio Valley Conference, headed to the FCS playoffs. Number 2, South Carolina State, your MEAC champion. And number 1, Jackson State, SWAC East champion. And we'll be hosting that championship against Southern on December the 7th.